Alright, so I guess we're back again. And now this is an interesting look on the roster. I mean, a lot of people see the couple big faces moving and that potentially will go up to New Jersey, and they're saying there's a lot of roster movement. That's something I've seen a lot from some people is there's really not. I mean, you have a couple small pieces that left, some big pieces that may go up, some that are going up, and some that will probably come down. So you never know how the roster's going to look until it happens. That's the thing. We can only speculate of where's Holtz going to be, where's Clark going to be, who's going to step up with Dawes hurt. Now, I dug. Now these are all accurate as of I think a day or two ago. So I may be wrong on certain free agents, although I shouldn't be. I haven't heard anything or seen anything really change. So this is just a thing of I may be slightly off, but most should be right in terms of where they are right now. So I guess first we'll start with the guys that are here. So Gambardella, he's already on the roster. Philip Angaras, I guarantee I butchered that. I'm sorry. Schmalzer did get. I think he had an extension before the season or something like that. Or got a 2-year contract before the season. He's here for the next season. Xavier Apparent, Samuel LeBurge, Teamer, and Brigmov. I guarantee I butchered that too. Because I still can't say his name. He's been here for half a year. And I say it different ways, different times. Tice Thompson, TJ Friedman, Brian Hallinan, Josh Philman, Michael Vukojevic, Robbie Russo. All of those guys. And am I missing anybody? Oh yeah, Dawes and Poulter. All stay. Pretty much all. Wow. Yeah. Poulter got an extension in the off season and was brought back. A lot of the guys were already in contract, or a couple got them at the end of last season, early off season to come back, and they are back in town. Now the guys that went to free agency are Jace Harlock, guarantee I'm saying that wrong, who as of right now is still a free agent as far as I know. Nolan Stevens went and signed with the Detroit Red Wings for a 2-way 1-year NHL contract. So Nolan Stevens, a guy who I thought was really streaky and wasn't necessarily maybe the best guy here, gets a shot with Detroit. I don't think he'll stay up for long, but he's now in Detroit. Brian Penhouse signed with the New York Islanders on a 1-year 2-way to go to, I'm assuming Bridgeport is probably where he'll land. You never know. But, I mean, we'll see. And one that really hurts, because I really wanted to see him back, I got to get a picture with him at the end of last season after the season ended so horribly. Somebody who was a fan favorite, had some of the best hair on the team I liked, I know a lot of other guys liked. Great personality, great guy to talk to in the small amount of time I actually talked to him. It's Mason Gertzen, who went over to Las Vegas, and I'm so mad that Andreas Arstenthal, someone who was on the Comets when it was Vancouver, I think that's who it was that Gertzen fought. I couldn't figure out to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was. When Gertzen was with New York, with the Rangers that's part of the reason why I really like him, because he came over. He was a New Yorker. Yeah, there was that fight, and since he came back to the East and signed with the Bruins, I was hoping Gertzy would come back, because it gives you a physicality that this roster doesn't have. And he's gone, and it sucks, because I wanted to see him back because when he was on the ice, everybody played a different way, because you were afraid, and you knew there was somebody on the ice that if you stepped in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you were dead. I mean, there's a few people that like a Walcott, that did the wrong thing, that may have done something to provoke Gertzie, and then ran away tail between the legs. There are some people that stepped up to him, I will say that, and gave him a good show. But Gertzie was one of the guys that you didn't want to face. When he was on the ice, if you were on the ice, you were going, all right, head on a swivel, because if I'm not careful, I'm going to get laid out. And he made teams play that different style. Now, and he was one of the only guys that you knew was going to get physical and you knew was going to take somebody. Vukojevic was down, so obviously you're not... I mean, I think he is another physical body, but I also don't think he's necessarily the guy that you're going to keep a head on a swivel for all the time. He wasn't like Gertzie, where I'd say he was more of a grinder than an enforcer, a little bit at times. Well, not in role, but I'm saying in terms of like, when Gertzie was on the ice, you were always scared of him. When Vukojevic was on the ice, you weren't always head on a swivel for him only. You weren't specifically worried about him and afraid to go at him. A few people really went at him, but it is what it is. And you also, you really don't have the physicality in the forward lines. Like, Vidi's gone, and he was kind of a grinder type player where he was going to give you that effort to the last second. He was really going to push you and grind you down. There's maybe one or two more guys that would kind of play that role, but nobody really played the pure enforcer role that Gertzie did. That he would take anybody and everybody at the same time. He'd take on the whole team if he could. And then for other free agent moves, you have... Also, let me just note, LeBerge is another one of those guys that is a grinder, and he talks, and I love that he talks so much and talks so much trash, but he's just... I don't see him fight very much. I don't see him always laying somebody out. But it is what it is. Another free agent move was Jared Gurley. As far as I can tell, is still a free agent, and now these are all as far as I could find for the upcoming season. If they are free agents or not, I might be wrong, but I really dug through the couple websites I could find, and they didn't give much, if at all. Zach Hayes, Jeremy Grollo, both still on free agency too. Grollo didn't get his QO for his RFA, so I assume he's probably gone. Unless he's around maybe near the beginning of the season, if they really need a defenseman or something, they could call on him and bring him back. You never know. And then Zachary Emond. Now, as much as I'll say we didn't see much of him, you don't really know what he is because he didn't play here. He was hurt. They didn't give him a QO either. New Jersey didn't. He was let walk, and he goes to the Laval Rockets for a 1-year AHL contract. And then Marek Smittens, I can't find anything. So I assumed he was a free agent, but as far as I remembered, I thought he was still supposed to be on the roster for maybe another year. I honestly don't know. Right now, I have him written down on my sheet as kind of unknown limbo because I'd want him back from what I saw, and then he got hurt. If I was Adirondack, I would for sure want him back. So I don't know what the situation is, but, I mean, it may get clarified by the season starting. It may not. I have no clue. Now, also, let me just note, Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's not Ryan Kellgren. I don't know why I said Ryan Kellgren. Ryan Fitzgerald is an expected signing before I go into signings. That's just a note. It's not official yet, as far as I know. But actually, let me get into guys that went overseas first. So Nick Hutchison went overseas, and Arnie Talvidi went overseas. Talvidi went to Finland. Hutchison went to Sweden. Both signed, I think, short-term contracts in their respective places. And we'll see how they do. Riley Walsh was traded to the Bruins. This I kind of expected. It was rumored he was on the block for a while. By that time, I had a feeling he would go, and it was only a matter of time. His waiver exemption status was up either this season or the next coming season. I can't remember. I think it's this season. And there's there's some rumors out there, but at the end of the day, all it comes down to is, you may lose a bit of offense here moving him, but honestly, you can probably make up for that lost offense with somebody else. I think you really can. I think it was just right place, right time sometimes for him. Also, let me know. Well, now I'll go into signings. So you have Colin Felix got an AHL deal and is coming to Utica. Jeremy Brodeur got an AHL two-way. The goalie. Now let me know what Colin Felix is the D-man. Jeremy Brodeur, the goalie, 1 year AHL two-way. I assume he'll probably only. I don't know if he's really going to stay. That's a note for another time. Kellegren got a contract with New Jersey and is expected to come down. Kellegren goalie, former Leafs goalie. Utica saw him when Toronto Marlies came into town as the 1 seed and beat them in the semifinal divisional round. And now he's coming to Utica. Obviously, Villain is expected to come back, I should say. Now, some of these guys are up, but they're expected to come back. And Eric Millendorf, I don't remember. I think he was a late signing last year and got a contract and didn't really see time. And got the contract. I think it was 2 years or something like that coming in this year. He has that other year, so we'll see if he gets time. We'll see how he operates in the lineup. And he was a college free agent, I'm pretty sure. So if I remember correctly. And then you have Shane Bowers, Kyle Crisculo, I guarantee I said that wrong, and Justin Dowling, all expected to be sent down from New Jersey. Now, I haven't looked at New Jersey's lineup. I haven't done the gymnastics. Obviously, I'll do that when the season gets closer and a couple things are more certain on who's going to go up and compete, who's going to stay down and is ruled out of those jobs, who's coming in to compete here and try to make a roster spot, etc., etc. And then I probably will do some sort of thing on Cap Friendly and kind of try to do some gymnastics and say, here's how it may look. And then maybe go off that. But right now, Utica, they look like they'll have a decent roster. I mean, you still have a lot of guys. Now, guys that I do expect to go up are Holtz has the potential to go up. I don't know for sure. It also depends on if New Jersey brings anybody in late from free agency. It's always a moving cycle, or if there's a small trade to bring somebody in. You never know. You honestly never know with stuff like that. Nolan Foote could get the call up, is something I've been hearing. Same with Graham. Well, either Nolan or Graham, or I've heard could go up. That's possible. You never truly know. Also, I forgot to note Witherspoon's still here too, and Hataka, two defensemen. I think Hataka is getting sent down too, because I think he's up in the New Jersey right now. So I think that would be another one of their expected send-downs. I don't have it written down, so I don't know what I was thinking at the time of what this could be. Simone Nemec is... It depends. It depends on what their decor looks like. It depends on if Ball comes back. It depends on a lot of things. Because as far as I know, Ball's still not signed yet. And I think he got his QO, but I think he's still an RFA. Schmidt is expected to be up for the full year to be the on the other side of what I expect to be a 50-50 with Vanacek. Because they just traded Blackwood. They let Iman go here. And Bernier is probably not coming back. There's your two. Kalgren's probably going to be your send down. So then you have, while Dawes is hurt, a competition of Brennan, Poulter, and Kalgren. And then Dawes will come back and it'll become a four-way goalie battle. Yay. Great. Just what I wanted, more goalie battles. Oh, good to have too many than too little, I guess. You know? And then those are the only guys that, those are the only guys that could probably really be up. So, I mean, you have a lot. You have some returners, but you also have the new guys or the guys that were here at the end of the season, so there's a little bit of everything. I mean, am I a little worried about this roster? Sure. But at the end of the day, look at how bad this team was in terms of offense last year. It can't get any worse. I mean, they were hanging Dawsey out to dry for a while. Dawsey, Poulter, everybody. So, honestly, you never can get, with how bad this team was on offense, you can never get too many checks of, hey, what do we have in this guy? What do we have in that guy? Plus, you're getting Stillman back. Stillman's expected to come over. So, I mean, Stillman can be your another kind of grinder, but I don't think he's your enforcer, per se. Unless he shows he can be, I wouldn't put him in that role. I wouldn't expect him to take that role. And I would worry a little bit about that with teams like Syracuse and Boston coming in a decent amount, and teams that are so physical and so tough. Utica can't play back that game because they didn't have physicality then last season. Especially now, you don't have physicality. What are you going to do when teams start hitting you, when teams start bullying you into the boards? This is a team that ran dump and chase so bad that I'm sitting there with my head in my hands going, this is not how you run it. There'd be times where I'd watch Joe Gambardella dump the puck in and be the first one to get to it. The guy who dumps the puck shouldn't be the first one getting to the puck. Why? Well, the first Comet getting to the puck, really. Or they dump and chase in what I'd argue was a bad situation. They carry it in when they shouldn't be like, they do all these dumb things. I'm sitting there going, why? Like, they're dump and chase. They dumped and chased with a team that didn't have that much physicality, and when you do it against teams that you can knock off their game and you can kind of bully around, fine. But when you do it against teams from the East that are built tough, that are built strong, you're not going to do it well. There's certain teams in the East that play the dump and chase so well that if you try to play them at their own game, you're going to lose. Look what they did. But at the end of the day, I mean, this roster it can be good. I mean, I don't know if it's going to come out and surprise people like last season. I don't know if it's going to be as good as it was 2 seasons ago when they won the division. But, I mean, we'll see. Because at the end of the day, this roster has a good amount of question marks, and some of them aren't for the better. I mean, Holtz, I've been saying that Holtz, in a way, has kind of gotten, not ruined, but screwed over. Because he got held on New Jersey's roster, was idle, doing nothing, he comes back down. He can't really adjust back to that game speed and be what he was last year. Well, what are you going to do? You either keep him in the NHL and he does nothing and sits on your bench, and when he does play, he doesn't play to their standard of, well, he didn't really get time. Or he comes down and he struggles. Plus, they traded his best friend in the Meyer deal, and I have a feeling that may have been a thing too. Because they traded Fabian Zetterlund, who I know a lot of people around here liked, and he hasn't been the same since both of those things happened. He hasn't been the same player that I saw in Utica that season, that first season. since the trade and just sitting in the NHL doing nothing. Comes down, doesn't play at the same level, and I know he did put up a good amount of points and stuff that looked good on the score sheet, but I mean, at a team that needs offense, when you're that good of a player, you should be trying to step up. I mean, Nemo he kind of was one of the only guys that I sat there and watched and was like, well, I'm actually happy with his performance every single game. There's a lot of games where I'm sitting there going, I'm happy with Nemo's performance. Not a lot of other guys. Well, that and the goalies were most of the guys I was sitting there going, I liked how they performed most of the games. Because the team couldn't score. I mean, there'd be games where Dawsey lets in maybe one bad goal, or even games where like his defense will hang him out to dry, or they'll tag a lot of penalties. Was a problem at some points during the season, and Dawsey get hung out to dry, or he'd just get unlucky on a breakaway, and the team was like, "Oh, we're one goal back. I'm sorry, we don't know what potting one is. We're not gonna help you out." Like, Dawsey would lose games where he lets in one goal or two goals, and the team wouldn't score at all. Especially in the beginning of the season, I'm sitting there going, why? Why? Dawsey's playing good, sometimes even great, and you can't score one goal. And then they do stuff where it's like, oh, they come back, and then they're down one, and then the other team tightens up and they can't score. I sit there and it was so stressful because I'm like, you can score 3 to get yourself back in the game, but then you can't score one more because you don't have enough time. It's like, if your offense got running on time instead of late, you could have won the game. Oh, well, they were a horrible offensive team last season, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen again because I don't want to see the goalies get hung out to dry again, and I think it'll be a little bit worse because Dawsey got the surgery, and he's going to be out for it till it's expected. He's going to be out till Christmas. I don't know if he'll be 100% till probably playoffs in terms of back in the full swing and everything. So you really got Brennan, Calgren, and Poulter. And I mean, Poulter played really good after he kind of got established, but I don't know if he'll get the 1. I don't think he'll get the 1 as the goalie. I think he'll probably get the 2. I think he can beat out Brennan. I don't know if he'll beat out Calgren. I think he can beat out Brennan just because he's been there before, and Brennan may need time to adjust. But this is an interesting roster. I mean, we'll see how it goes during the season. But at this point, there's so many unknowns that we're not going to get the answers till the season starts. And if they play as bad offensively as they did last season this season, they're not going very much anywhere. I don't care who's on the roster. Anyways, that's been the video. Just a quick congrats to all I haven't done a video since graduation. So congrats to all the guys in the 23 class that I just graduated with. If any of them catch wind of this video or catch this part, I know it's at the end of a video, but thanks to you guys for being around, some of the guys, because I know some of them do watch occasionally. And congrats to all you guys, because honestly, it was especially a rough high school 4 years from COVID and everything. Congrats to any 2023 grads. Anyways, it's been a video. It's hot. New York's hot right now. It's been bad the last couple of days. The ACs have been running a lot. So stay cool, everyone in the New York area and the U.S. if it's hot where you're at. And hey, I think it's 104 days till the Utica Pioneers start, and I think it's a little bit less till the Utica Comets start, because I think the Comets start slightly earlier. Football season around 50 days away too. Let's go. See you later. See you later in the week.